What's up with everyone moving to Europe? Spain, Portugal, Italy, France. Why are so many Americans moving to Europe? Living in the US and moving abroad. In this video, we're going to talk about why are Americans moving to Europe, what it takes to make such a move, and how to stay there legally and permanently. So, let's roll. Hey, wait a second, why is everyone living? What's going on here? Why are Americans living the greatest country in the world? The purpose of this video is not to bash the US, it's not to bash my country. I am an American, actually, I am an immigrant. I came here when I was a kid, when I was a child. My family moved to the US, so this is the country that I love. This is my country. I am an American. So in no way, shape or form, I'm trying to criticize our way of life, okay? But reality is reality. It's not that bad here, I know, but things have changed the last 10 years. We see political division, we see economic challenges for a lot of families, we see a rising cost of living, and it's just becoming harder for many Americans to live that life, to live the American dream. So we're seeing a lot of comments, a lot of inquiries from our clients, from our friends about selling their home and moving to Europe, especially Spain and Portugal. But remember, it used to be that only the wealthy, or the people retiring, could actually think about moving to Europe. I mean, that's a dream. But now it's different. It's not just the wealthy, it's not just the people retiring, it's just regular people. They're thinking in moving there because it is less expensive, because they have access to healthcare, because the lifestyle is better, because they could actually buy a house there. We've seen, especially after the pandemic, the housing prices is just out of whack, and most people cannot afford a home here. So they're questioning that, and now that we can actually work remotely, people can move to Spain, Madrid or Valencia or Barcelona. It's beautiful out there, but and now they could actually work from there, live there, and continue actually earning dollars. It's making it easier for people to actually contemplate the idea of moving to Europe. All right, but why is this happening? Well, the healthcare challenge, as I mentioned before, is a big deal. It is expensive to have healthcare in the US. We all know that. So the idea of having healthcare in Spain is attractive, or France, or Italy, it is attractive. And that's one of the reasons that people are moving to Europe. The biggest reason, at least the ones that we hear from our people, or from our clients, from our friends, is safety, especially school safety for our children. So people are concerned about that. And listen, it's a hot topic. I'm not trying to get political here, but it's one of the things that is driving people to think about living in the US. I am a parent, I have young children, and trust me, this one hits home. All right, so check this out. In the last 10 years, the expat community has doubled up. Right now, we have about 10 million people living abroad. That's a lot of Americans not living in the US and living abroad, especially Spain, which houses the largest expat community in the world. Second to Portugal, which is now seeing an incredible amount of people moving there. Portugal actually saw a 45% increase since 2021 of people moving there. So we have a ton of Americans moving into Portugal. And there's a reason for that. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Okay, so let's recap. Americans are moving because of housing, affordability, healthcare, safety reasons, and well, something we didn't mention, the strong dollar right now. For the first time in decades, the euro and the dollar are at parity. They are a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's also making people think, I can do this. I can afford something really nice in Europe. Maybe I could sell my house here and move to Spain and move to Portugal. It is happening. It is not easy to just pack and move. There are visa requirements, there are language challenges. I get it. but it is possible. So let's talk about the two main countries that are actually getting the bulk of the Americans moving into Europe. So to attract foreign investments, to attract foreign money, Spain and Portugal have done something very interesting. It's called a golden visa. It is a program that allows citizens that are not European Union citizens to have access to that country in exchange for an investment. So you could become a resident, you could become a citizen of Spain or Portugal if you make an initial investment. So Spain actually requires €500,000, 500,000 euros in order to make this work. You could do it, and most people actually do and play the real estate game. You could invest in stocks, you could do venture capital. There are other avenues. Most people, the vast majority of people, go through the real estate avenue. So €500,000, and you can actually become a resident of Spain. You initially get a 2-year residency that you have to extend for 5 years. So 2 years, then you extend it for 5 years, and then another 5. And usually after you have spent 10 years living in Spain, you can apply for that permanent residency in Spain. However, you don't have to live in Spain. You could just make the investment, buy 1 property, 2 properties, as many as you want, as long as the minimum €500,000 investment is covered. For example, let's say you buy a beautiful castle, $700,000, 700,000 euros. So the first $500,000, they have to come out of your pocket. The other 200,000 you can finance. You don't have to live in Spain. You can go buy your property and come back to the States in case that you're not ready to move there yet. But you have that golden visa from the moment you get that investment. Okay, let's leave Spain behind for a moment and let's talk about Portugal and their golden visa. Just as Spain, Portugal has different routes, different ways of obtaining that golden visa. You could do it through real estate, you could do it to bank investments. You can actually leave money in the bank and apply for that. The investment is higher. The easiest as well, just as in Spain, is real estate.
There you go again.
And that's what the people that we know have done. Okay, and Portugal is a very, very attractive country, and the golden visa there might be more attractive than in Spain. You need 280,000 euros. I'm going to get back to that in a moment. You probably have heard that you can do it for as little as 250,000 euros. That is not an investment. That is actually a donation to the arts in Portugal. So you basically are donating 250,000 euros. You're not going to have any ROI, no return of investment here. So you donate in that money and you get your residency in Portugal. However, if you actually buy a property that is worth 280,000 euros, then that's a residential property, and actually commercial too. But you own a property and eventually that will give you a return of investment. You can rent that property out, you can get some cash flow. So there's different ways of seeing this. But 280,000 euros might be a little deceiving here.
It's treason, then.
The real number is 350,000 euros. Wait, what? The thing is this, you can get a 20% discount on your investment if that property that you're buying is in an area that's called or designated less density area. So if the property that you're buying is in that area, in one of those areas, you could actually get a 20% discount from that 350. So 350,000 minus 20% is 280. That's where the 280,000 euros comes from. You can also get that same 20% discount if you're buying the property. If you buy a property that is older than 30 years, it's a property that's been renovated. That's another way of getting that 20% discount. So stay with me here. 350,000 minus the 20% discount, whether it's on a less density area or a property that needs to be renovated. That's the discount, 280,000 euros. Boom, you get it. That's 280,000. That's probably one of the easiest way of getting the Portuguese residency. Remember that in Spain, you actually don't have to go there at all. You can buy your property and go back to the States and roll it like that. In Portugal, you actually have to stay a minimum of 7 days. 7 days stay every year in Portugal. If you do that for 5 years, then you can actually become a citizen. Well, if your goal is to become a citizen, I think it's easier in Portugal. Remember, once you become a citizen, you don't have to keep that investment. And what makes Portugal so attractive to Americans? Remember, there is the amount of people moving to Portugal is massive. Well, lifestyle, the cost of living, the food, and the fact that there are a lot of people there who speak English. And they might be a little less ethnocentric than in Spain, and I love Spain. Madrid is one of my favorite cities in the world. But it might be a little more friendly for Americans, for what we've heard, to go to Portugal, to move to Portugal. And that's what we see in this amount of action of people moving to Portugal lately. What do you do? How do you get there? You own a home here in the US. Maybe you live here in Colorado and you're thinking of moving to Spain or Portugal. What do you do? Do you sell your home and use the proceeds to go to Spain or go to Portugal? Do you rent it out? What are your options? Well, let's talk about this. A lot of our clients actually have owned a home here for a while, and they're thinking of going to Spain or Portugal. My advice, depending on your plan, is if you're absolutely sure that Spain or Portugal, Europe is your destination, that this is the place where you want to live, then maybe selling your home might be your best opportunity, because you're going to take those proceeds and you're going to be able to buy something there easily. Well, the housing prices here in the US are astronomical. Most people that actually have owned a home here in the last few years have tons of cash, tons of equity. So it will be easier to get that money, get those proceeds, and buy, the 280,000 investment in real estate in Portugal, or maybe the €500,000 in Spain. But let's say you're not sure yet, or maybe you have other savings, and you can actually buy the $280,000 property in Portugal and not having to tap into your equity. Something that you could do, and is brilliant, is just renting your property. Rentals right now in the US are at all-time high. You could rent nicely your home, and that money, those dollars will translate into their currency, and it's going to be very strong for you. So you're going to do very well by renting your property here and living there. That is if you actually have some other savings and can buy that property there in order to qualify for that golden visa. Not everyone does, so maybe tapping into that equity becomes the best option. So you have to see what your circumstances are, what the plans are, and what do you see yourself in the next few years. What if you go there for a few years and then you decide that that's it, you love Portugal, you love living in Lisbon, or you love living in Madrid. For those who are don't have a property here to sell, then the remote working option is great, but you have to have that initial investment, which is not easy if you don't have tons of savings or a property to get access to that golden visa. And if you're retiring, then this might be the best route. Selling your property and moving your proceeds, moving your money to a property or properties in Spain or Portugal. We actually know someone who moved to Portugal, bought one property for him and his family, and bought two additional townhomes, and rent them out. Those were actually fixer-uppers. He bought those in an area that needed to is being renovated, so he got a 20% discount of his investment, and that was fantastic. So he has two properties, two incomes that he's receiving from the rentals, some cash flow, and he lives in the other one. So he sold his properties here and moved over there. So those are options that you as a seller in the US could have if you're thinking in moving to good old Europe, Spain, Portugal. Okay, so if you are planning to move to Europe, Spain or Portugal, you will find that the cost of living there is less. You could actually buy a better home, more house over there for less money. So if you're thinking in selling your home here and buying in Spain or Portugal, you're gonna make a killing.
You're breathtaking.
The cost of living is less there. Food's amazing, groceries are cheaper. Lifestyle in general gets a little bit better there. And that is the reality. So there's never been a better time to buy a property in Spain. Properties there are not that expensive, and right now they are actually going up in value, and you could rent them out and the cash flow will be fantastic. Especially if you buy in the coast, in the south coast of Spain, if you're looking at Valencia or Alicante, you could buy something that is beautiful by the beach, and you could rent it out. You could do Airbnb, you could do any of these companies that would actually rent it out for you and make some money. A few fun facts about Spain. There are almost 50,000 Americans living in Spain today. In Spain, the tooth fairy, if you have kids, this is gonna be important, pay attention. The tooth fairy in Spain is not called the tooth fairy, it's called the Pérez mouse, el ratón Pérez. So this is something that you need to prepare your kids for. You have to tell them that the tooth fairy is not going to Spain, but there's an assistant there. That's the one that actually brings the money or the gifts to your kids. Expect to have lunch around 3 p.m. and dinner very late, 9 p.m. at least. Spain is a Catholic country, heavily Catholic. So get ready for visiting those churches. They are beautiful. The architecture is amazing, but this is a heavily Catholic country. Fun fact about Portugal, well, it is the 4th greenest country in Europe. 100% of their energy comes from wind, from solar, and from hydro. It's amazing. So you're gonna see, if you go to Portugal, you're gonna live in a place that is extremely eco-conscious, that they're really trying hard to become, to stay energy independent. So hydro is big, solar is big, wind is big, and they're getting right now 100% of their energy from these sources. So great places to move to, and the opportunities are there. Why Americans are moving? Well, I hope I answered those questions. And again, if you're planning to do this and thinking of selling your home, thinking of renting your home, there are options. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, give us a like. If you found this content valuable at all, subscribe. If you like real estate vlogs, subscribe. See you in the next one.